Okay, so before we start, I must say the why I thought of asking Eliott to go up on live stream and we share our experience and journey with you guys, because from like since 10 years already, I set myself on a path to the truth and find only truth and be truthful, and it hasn't changed. So as I set myself on this path, family, relationship, motherhood, work, money, everything becomes secondary. So I would imagine that in anyone who with anyone who is in similar situation like what we went through, they probably would naturally and normally prioritize maintaining relationship or finding happiness elsewhere. But for me, whatever happened in my life or in our relationship, it eventually contribute to my journey of finding truth and be truthful. And also it happens to be what I have always been passionately sharing with everyone, with you guys in Như Là, even with Eliott for the past 6 years that we know
Yes.
each other. So eventually it go back to the
Issues today. All right.
yeah. Eventually it will go back to the same thing that I have seen as priority. That is how do we maintain integrity and truthfulness and use any of these challenges as a way to elevate ourselves and deepen our understanding of ourselves even more. And as a person who is very passionate in sharing my journey with you guys, I think what me and Eliott had been going through not only give me like invaluable lessons, but also to Eliott, I suppose. And I think good lessons should not just be kept for ourselves, but also I'm happily sharing our journey with you guys for the purpose that we share lessons and we share our perspectives, our struggles, and our learning and how we are tackling it, so that people who are interested in finding truth while still having couple life can have a different perspective. That's the first purpose. And the second purpose is also it is a chance for me and Eliott to stay absolutely transparent
And honest.
and honest with ourselves and also with everyone who we have been in contact with and sharing what we believe. And I think it's a bit like accountability to what we say and what we do. Yeah. So mostly these two purpose. And for me it's very natural instinct. I hate living in secret, and I hate to have a secret unless it's for everyone's fun and surprise. But otherwise I don't like to keep secret, and I like that whatever it is, even if it's up or down, I can freely and naturally discuss about it. And it's a way to see if there's still something hidden or something uncomfortable in me. Do you want to share a bit, or do you want to say anything before we start?
Yeah. Very opposite to what Lee has been going through. I've had decided to keep things secrets from her, and also not see things through by myself. In other words, lie to myself about things I have done and I have been through. And I only recently noticed that a lot of pain and suffering that I felt was only sourced from me being dishonest and lying and accumulating lies throughout my life, and especially throughout my couple life with Lee. And only now do I see that there's another way of living than through hiding and secrets. As the misdeeds and the bad choices I have done in my life came out of hiding, and I discovered some, and then I decided to tell her all of them. I could see how my life has been a huge lie to myself and to the people around me, and I want to get out of this situation, to be truthful and feel good about being who am I and the way I am with Lee and my family. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Can you read the comments?
Love the way both of you guys face and go through. Thank you, Tao.
So maybe I will ask you a few questions. This is what we've been talking a lot, but I ask you for the sake of helping the audience understand more.
Okay.
Yeah. So what you just said is that you had never known a different way of living that is truthful.
Yeah,
truthful
correct.
living, right? So as a partner that had been with him for 6 years and had always been like passionately sharing with him about truthfulness and how to be truthful and what I had gone through with all the cheat and lies I did before, and how I decided to give it up, and I decided to be transparent with myself and with him, with everyone, blah 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 blah, and all the workshops that I organized and Eliott helped. Actually, it took so many events for me to slowly realize and like come to a big realization that the guy that I had always been talking about truth with him, thinking that he's somewhere near the understanding that I also understand, actually had no clue of lies and truth. Like when I say have no clue, maybe I will ask, maybe you will tell me like things that you have discovered about what truth means and what lies mean, which you never realized before. Yeah. Okay. So like for example, like before, you never knew what truthful living means, even though you thought that you were truthful, isn't it?
Yeah,
You always thought that you were truthful.
Well, I knew when I was doing some things that were wrong, but I never actually took the time to reflect and yes, when I was with you and when I talked to you and when I answered your questions, I always think I was truthful. But
So what have you discovered to be like slightly different or completely different to what you think truth was? Like, I know that you never listed it out, but we have gone through so much discussion
yeah,
in 30 days. Maybe you can like kind of like reflect a bit and share with them.
okay.
Me.
Well, there was something that I only acknowledged recently, is that in my mind I believed strongly that if a truth was not I was only the one to know the secret, then this secret was not a lie, kind of.
So that means if you lie to people and it's only you that knows this lie, then it's not a lie.
Yeah, as horrible as it sounds, yes.
Right? Yeah, it sounds shocking.
Yeah,
But it, like, you never formulated it in that way, right?
yeah,
It's never come to your head that it's like that.
yeah, of course.
But-
But it made me believe that I was actually truthful while I was actually
Like
lying,
if you
full of shit.
if you cheat on someone, or if you do something behind their back and hide it from them, knowing that it's not good for them or both of you, or go against the agreement, but if they don't know,
Then it's still okay.
then it's still okay.
Yeah.
How did this come to, like how did you, like, first of all, how did this get to be the habit? What enabled it? You know, because
Okay, I can answer. I think.
yeah.
Only recently, because of discussions with you, have I understood that my my education and the environment in which I grew up was only based on lies for survival, and that actually I had no models of what is to be truthful to oneself and to others. And all the people around me when I was growing were basically teaching me how you can survive on lies and on hiding, and especially on something that my mom very well called the secret garden, and always tell me that, yeah, you should keep and nurture your secret garden. And stupidly and blindly I did, and so everything, all the shit I was doing, and all the mishaps and cheating and lying, I always like stuck it in my secret garden.
You name it beautifully, like secret garden.
Yeah, but actually it's a it's a trash site.
Okay, can you give some example? Because I think many people here are parents also, you know, and maybe they can also have a good reflections on how kids taught with lies, and how it helped reinforce their misunderstanding of lies and truth.
So when I was raised a lot by my grandparents, and my grandfather was a ex-military, and he used to live in the countryside, and we had a huge house with a farm and animals. And when he was in the nature, he would be actually very transparent and gentle. But every time we would have to do something with the city or with other people, he would always teach me how to cheat the system, how to get stuff for free, or how to cheat people, or how to lie to get his own way without having to fit with the rules and the laws and the social acceptance and things like this. So
Like what kind of cheat on the system, and like little lies?
like little things, like we would go to the bakery. In France, you have bakeries everywhere that sell mainly bread, cakes, and candies. And my grandparents were not wealthy, but they had they were like middle class.
They have enough to live.
Yeah, of course, and they both had like normal jobs and earn like normal money, middle class. But then we would go to the bakery, and he would buy bread, and he would always like show me when the baker or the staff is not paying attention, and like kind of like steal some candies and give to me, or make me steal them, like just as a base, you know. And that would be like his little like it would be our little secret and our little play fun, our little fun to steal with grandfather and grandson. And when I was kid, of course, I found it fun and challenging.
So it already formed a secret garden.
Yeah.
Like it's full of joy, fun on the cost of someone else.
Yeah.
But as long as no one knows, then it's okay. But if they know, then you just say sorry.
Yeah. And that's how, like, I was raised like this for everything. Like, another example that I told Lee a few times is when so in France you have these very large underground parkings in the city centers, usually for cars. And when my mom would drive through this parking, drop the car, and then go shopping, and then after we pick up the car, instead of paying the parking tickets,
which is how much?
Which is like €2 or €3,
like
50,000 or 70,000, something like this, for a few hours. It's like it's tiny money. She would always, maybe not always, but like at least 6 times out of 10, she would wait at the exit of the parking until there's a car leaving, and then she would like follow the car right through the barrier, through the gate, because if you close enough, it doesn't close, and then she would like leave the parking without paying the tiny fee, or she would press the bell and call the garden and say, "Oh, I lost my ticket," and like kind of like do a little bit of drama, and so that she can get out of for free. And my mom used to earn a lot of money, and it's not related to money at all. It's just she used to get a kick from her little theft, you know.
We talk about this, how the cheating and the lyings give you the sense of control.
Yeah.
The one who know, and the other one people don't know, and you get to win them upper hand.
Yeah, status. Yeah.
Status, right?
Yeah, of course. The thief or the cheater enjoy his status. I mean, enjoy this status over the one that is cheated. And yeah, I can see that. My mom enjoyed this, and my grandfather too, like both of them.
But we also look deep down inside what makes a person search for status from such act, because there are many ways of gaining status. By being honest, by expanding yourself, by having integrity, by being truly fearless, because you have been so transparent and non-clinging to any external conditions. But there are also opposite ways that people chose in order to secretly feel that they are more clever or smarter or craftier or more in control compared to the system, or compared to the partner, or compared to anyone else. And this usually deprived from the lack of self-worth.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like feeling like I'm helpless with my life, actually, and I'm helpless with many things. I'm lack of control over my own body weight, or my love life, or the person I'm in relationship with, or my own child, or my job, or my addiction with alcohol or smoke, like many things that people can feel that they don't have control over. And to gain a little bit of soothing or a little bit of sense of control, instead of giving up control and look for a more sustainable way,
Yeah, which is
to
focused on.
cruise through. Yeah, then people start becoming addicted to finding ways to control, and one of it is lies and keeping secret
Shit.
and cheat, and call it secret garden.
Yeah.
I really, before I always thought secret garden sounds so romantic, but it's been 10 years I went on this path of keeping no secret and having no secret with myself. Like,
Yes,
I should
that's the
know
first thing.
myself a lot, and I shouldn't be surprised at things. Like, it shouldn't be meaning like, if there's a surprise about myself, I would embrace it and I would look into it instead of burying it and then feel like a stranger to myself. So slowly now, when I hear about secret garden, I find it like just like a perfume on top of shit,
That's exactly what it is.
like spraying perfume on shit,
Yes.
just to make something that's stinky but smells good because it's named secret garden. But for me, actually, secret garden is the job of the universe for us to go through and experience and explore. It's not our job to keep any secret. Our job is to be fully unblocked and transparent and let things flow through with a lot of acceptance and transparency.
Yeah, that's the other thing I didn't mention is that actually keeping and nurturing this secret garden on the long term, it has a lot of impacts on one's personality, and I can observe this on me. How, firstly, it created a lot of delusions in me. So it made me see things that are not there, and also make me block reality. So I was not able anymore to step back and see what's going on. And so that is one aspect. And another very strong aspect is that living a life full of lies and secret actually ends up by all these secrets and lies eating me from the inside in terms of my personality and also my joy and my integrity.
How does lie eating you up? But the thing is, why being eaten up by it, you don't even know. Actually, it's the
lies that I eat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
don't
always
know.
blame it on other people, but you don't know that actually not feeling secure and integrated just means that being one with yourself,
Yeah, of course.
right? When we say integrity, actually first and foremost is like being together with yourself, being honest. So when you have to split yourself into many parts, this part is this lie, this part is the other lie, this part is to reveal, to conceal it, then you are split, like you have split personalities and that conflicts each other. And
that's one thing I told you already, and it's worth mentioning, is that I had the feeling that I don't know if it's a feeling, but what I could witness is that during our 6 years together, even if I already lied from the beginning, I thought that I could separate and compartment my life with the lies and my life truthful being with you,
and you were like, you think it's something very healthy to do.
Yeah, because I didn't because I didn't know better.
Yeah.
So yes, I actually segmented myself into different parts and compartments. And
like when you are in your secret world, then you are this person.
Yeah.
When you come back home and you are with me, then you
I'm
are
a
a different person. When I ask you about truthfulness, or if you have other woman, then you would lie
Yeah.
to be completely protecting your image in this world, right? But this kind of moment always ring a bell to you, isn't it? Like it always say, hey,
Yeah, it does.
is not together with what I think, or I remember, or I feel.
Well, there's the brain that can see it, and the sensation. If I had paid more attention to how I feel, I would have maybe be able to see it or to understand it earlier. Because there is always a physical blockage, and you remember for the first 2 years I was sick all the time.
Yeah, you constantly get sick and cannot breathe and
that
have
was the
back
main
pain and can't move, and it's all because of stress. And the thing is, I never knew where the stress came from, because as life has no pressure, like
But
we
I
don't
didn't
have
know
any
either,
pressure. Yeah, I know that you didn't know. I know now that you didn't know. But actually, now that when we look back to all the time that you got so stressed, is because you have to try to hold different parts of you be intact in one personality, right?
Yeah,
Like the effort to keep up with the lies and pretend, it eats you from inside,
it did.
right? And then the thing is, the discomfort from keeping up with the lie was didn't bring you to attention, because of the habit of looking outward instead of inward.
Yeah,
So you didn't know. You didn't know. Like, you didn't know where this discomfort come from, or maybe you don't even feel discomfort at all until you have some inability to breathe, for example.
yeah, exactly.
So,
Like, it would be, I would really bury it, and it will like come up later. And then, of course, for me, it's impossible to relate the lies with the physical ailment.
like, when we ignore even a little bit of ourselves, this sensation of discomfort, this sensation of conflicts in what we say and what we do, we ignore it, and then after a while, when it's accumulated enough, it becomes physical blockage.
Yeah, exactly.
So you had, like, can you list all the physical blockage that you have felt in the past 6 years?
Yeah, the first one was only a few months after living with you. Actually, I hadn't moved in with you yet, but we went to France, and I had this huge blockage in my vertebra.
Yeah, and you couldn't walk.
I couldn't move at all.
You had to lay down
For 2 weeks.
for 2 weeks and move, like a paralyzed.
Like
Or
paralyzed.
something?
Yeah. I had a squished disc, but it was these two vertebrae in decoding. Usually, they're always linked to family. Family.
Yeah.
Anything related to family. I had this back blockage, and then a few months later, I started having gastric issues.
Stomach problem.
So I couldn't eat without feeling terrible pain, and it went on for like the terrible pain for about 3 months, and I was going so crazy. And of course, it was very detrimental to us, because every time we would eat, I would need like so much time after eating to be able to recover from the
My
pain.
God, I remember hunting for different herbal solution for you, bringing you to different doctor and all this.
Yeah, well, luckily we found
something.
Dibio.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then
mixtures.
when this one is fixed and the other one comes
No, but the worst is that I used this treatment for like a few months, and within 1 or 2 months it started working. I could like eat again.
Yeah.
And then like a few months later it would start again, and it lasted for over a year. Yeah. Really for over a year.
Yeah. Because of the lies.
Yeah, because if I fix the ailments, but I don't fix the source of it.
Yeah.
It never works.
Yeah.
Of course. What else? That's like the two biggest.
And you often have this,
yeah.
Like this, and whenever I hear this, I just like, oh, Eliott, what's going on?
Yeah, but this I had from when I was kid, and from like maybe 6 to like 12. My mom used to call it oppression crisis, because feeling oppressed, it kind of like block my diaphragm and I can't breathe fully. So it's like you only can breathe like 30% of your lung capacity. So it's also very traumatizing.
Yeah.
And I think 2 years in our relationship, I started having this again. And it went on for like over a year or so. But this is like, it's now I can see that it's only related to anxiety, because when I have anxiety, even in the last 1 month, like sometimes some things that I didn't come clear about, or that actually when we talk, they kind of like come up, and I have strong feeling about it, and it gives me the anxiety, and I feel it exactly at the same place, just under the sternum, and it like also blocks my breathing. So yeah, definitely this was related to the lies. And actually, yeah, it's not the only thing. Like
many things more.
Yeah, when we were in Hanoi, I often have like very strong nasal congestion and headaches.
And then you start developing asthma lately, something like that.
Like, yeah, a year ago when we moved, and when we moved to Nha Trang, I became asthmatic. Also from the same issue, like throat.
And then now white hair.
Yeah, and white hair everywhere.
In 6 months.
But now we don't see it. They don't see it.
Yeah, yeah. Then let them see it. Like your hair start turning white. And
yeah, the proof that lies does shit to your body.
Yeah. And the worst thing is, despite of having all this physical blockage and pain, your body is screaming that, oh, we cannot hold it any longer. Then we start trying to find reasons. And of course, I would never know, because it's such deep layer of lies.
Yeah, I kept you completely in the dark. You
had no idea. Yeah. And
I lied to you every time you ask me questions about it. So
yeah,
you could never know.
Yeah. Because I count on you being accountable for your own self and own health and own development. And so, like, did you ever try to find the reasons, and did you blame it on different
definitely.
people or different sources?
That's a very good question. And that may answer the question I can see here. I mean, it's not a question, but I agree with this statement.
What statement?
Ching
Le. Yeah, you need to read it out.
Cheating in any form is one of the most popular coping mechanisms when one doesn't have enough self-awareness or never practicing self-work. So, to answer your question, yes, I actually never looked inward.
Even though I talk a lot about looking inward.
Or if I did, actually, I didn't really do it. Like I thought I was doing it, like from my head, but I never actually asked myself the good questions. So of course it would never work. I remember sometimes we had argument, and I would tell you, I will find it out. I will sort it out, and then I would go in my room and sit and like try to ask myself question and feel it. But of course, never anything comes, because I only look through my brain and not through myself. And so what I did, as a matter of fact, for my whole life, and not only for my relationship with you, is that I always look outward to find
the
reason, and it always end up by me blaming people, blaming things, blaming environment. And I know this because I can see it in anyone in my family, my mom, my sister, my grandfather.
Like tradition.
It's like a tradition. Like everyone always, the first thing when there is an issue is who to blame. So
someone has to be responsible for this, not me.
Not me. So we all do this, and I've been keeping this tradition very strongly. Who to blame? Blame first, then defend and excuse. And then manipulate into looking like into peace again by being crafty and lying.
Yeah, like you search for quick, fast release in order
Fast
to
solution.
fast solutions that actually add more into the lie.
Yeah.
Like you would go and meet more prostitutes, or you would be drinking alcohol, or watching porn to kind of forget yourself in there and not having to face whatever
Exactly.
that's bothering you, or to release all this built up of tension. But usually it adds more into the tension, right?
Yeah. Actually, the escape mechanisms were only very superficial, and this fast release thing, it works, but only for the time it happens, and it never has any momentum. It never gives me anything. It never makes me look more inside or feel better. It just fix the craving, for the instant craving, make me.
It's a bit like addiction.
Yeah, they're addiction. I mean, I always tell you I don't have addiction because I feel like I can stop right away.
But you actually
But every time I feel lack, then I will sick.
that's the only source.
I did.
Yeah. When we talk about addiction, is actually for example, when someone is addicted with alcohol, when they don't have it, then their body start reacting, their mental start screaming, and they start having a lot of problems.
Yeah, I think that's the addiction.
And then they think, oh, if I take a glass of alcohol, it would fix whatever problems that I'm having now.
Yeah.
And they call it quick fix, but actually even the word quick fix is inaccurate, because it's not fixing, it's actually feeding.
It's covering. Yeah.
It's feeding the addiction. It's like reinforcing, teaching and training your body and your mentality and your belief that yes, this is what I need. Without it I would die, or without it I cannot survive.
Actually, you said correct words. I'd like to take them again. It reinforced the separation between oneself. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know that if I go and have like a few beers, or I will fly for some moment, but I will not be like facing myself. I will not be myself, you know. I will be this part of me that is satisfied and happy, but
Unaware,
not me.
like how you say it's not you. Like if you have to choose to elaborate it more.
Like substance or addiction or sex, especially when it's like purposeful sex, like for release.
Like you use sex to release tension.
It taps into the me that I don't like the darker, full of shit, you know. It like, I don't know how to explain. You help me out a bit.
You keep telling about how when you escape with stimulants like sex and alcohol and porn and substance, some people find escape through gambling and other addictions. Then you feel that it's escape, but you're not being yourself.
Yeah.
And it's more, you become even more separated from you.
Exactly.
So I'm asking you where this sense of separation and not self come from.
Because it's not, because all this escape tap into into the part of me that is not the peaceful, integrated part. It taps into like the
Okay, so I understand you.
yeah
So what you mean is that it reinforced the sense of lack and lack of self-worth
exactly
inside you.
yeah
It makes you more dependent on something that is not you,
exactly,
right?
like a fuel.
Yeah, so you, instead of feeling full and sure and what you call self-sustaining, you feel more and more dependent on external things, and
To
therefore
be
feel
exactly
weaker and less confident to be surviving on your own, being yourself.
that's
That's a
exactly
sense of
exactly
separation, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I think this makes sense. Yeah.
Thank you for voicing it out clearly.
So then we also talk. You mentioned something earlier. So we talk about how, like, where the need to cheat and lies come from. Maybe talk a bit about self-denial, because despite of feeling this and having all the quick fix, you actually don't become happier and happier, right?
Yeah, it
Like
actually is the contrary.
despite of having, like, okay, I have problems, I have conflicts, I have stuff inside of me. Here are choices of substance and addictions that I can do in order to feel quick release of dissatisfaction within me and fill me up with something. And you get it always whenever you want it, right? All this substance, like, it's not like you couldn't have it, you had it. But as you were having them and as you were satisfying with these addictions, it never actually makes you more and more happy and more calm. Like, I was asking you, if you had everything and search for everything outside yourself and had successfully lied and make a secret world of addictions, then why are you not happy at home, and why are you not calm with people around you, and not content and not harmonious, if that's a source of calm and happiness and integrity that you relied on?
Can answer.
Yeah.
So there's something about getting through life with all this quick fix, all this quick release, either sex or substance or whatever, is that at some point while doing it, there is something inside me that used to tell me that this is wrong, or this is like, if we took, for example, I've been smoking for about 10 years now, maybe 15, 14 years. And every time I would like prepare and start smoking, I always feel that, yeah, I decide to go to do this, but I know very well that there is something else that I can do for me at the same moment. Instead, that would be like way better, or building something for me, like learning instruments or reading a book, or do something that I love, like Aikido or learn Taito, or anything else that actually would be something that bring me up. And I know it, and I'm aware of it, but I always tell me like, oh, but actually it's so nice and so easy. So I would still smoke and then like read some comic, or watch Netflix, and after I'm done, I always feel bad about it. So it kind of like bring me down every single time, down and down. And I can observe myself not being able to fight it, not like to fight it, but to like, to fight it. Like, I always let the substance or my addiction win over, and I see it, and even if I know it, I never find strength to resist it, And so of course it's very, very depressing on the long term, because I can see how for years all the time I've put into getting drunk, into smoking, into going for like sex, it's time I could have used to improve myself, and I'm very aware of it every single time it happens.
But even like we talked about this before, how you fell in the trap of self-judgment, and instead of accepting what's happening, you kind of fight it, like accepting that you're addicted to certain stuff.
Yeah, that is true.
You fight it, and exactly this fight creates tension within you and make you even more weak, because you deny yourself.
It's true.
Like for example, if you accept and if you realize that, oh, I'm actually dependent on substance, I'm actually have such a strong urge for release through sex, if you actually embrace this side of yourself, then you would have way more calmness to realize that there are so many options of what to do about it next. But because you're so busy fighting and suppressing this, judging yourself, that you create further resentment within and make yourself even more vulnerable and more angry and more frustrated, that again fall into this cycle. If I'm frustrated, I have to get released through substance and addiction. And then I hate myself for it. I don't want to admit that I'm addicted. So this creates even more tension. So I need to release through addiction. And then I hate myself even more. So what happens is, on the long term, you're more and more addicted and you hate yourself more and more.
That is fully correct.
Right?
Yeah. 100%.
When we talked about it, when we try to find out what exactly happened, I actually told you that the way to see it is actually opposite. Is that first you have to embrace that, yes, I feel stress and it's normal to feel stress. What can I do about it now? It's okay to feel this stress instead of suppressing it and instead of fighting it. And when you fight it, you start trying to have quick fix to quickly kill it. The faster, the better.
I never allowed the emotion.
It's true. But actually, if you allow yourself to feel the stress and feel the disappointment or feel the sadness of lack of control over me or over Leo or over your life, it could be resulting in something so beautiful, than to actually fight it and then try to manipulate the experience by using different quick fix. Actually, when you use quick fix, you want this sensation to go away. Like we talked this morning, when you have sexual urge, it's beautiful. I always say sexual energy is something so strong and so beautiful, and I love it. But only the one who don't love sexual energy. They want to get rid of it as soon as possible by fucking, banging, masturbating, ejaculate fast. Actually, it's not because they love sex, but because they hate sex. They hate this energy inside them. They cannot tolerate that it's lingering and it's playing and is flowing through their body and can expand them and can give them so much creativity.
Yeah,
Instead, get it done, get it out.
I think
Right.
my ego was not allowing all these needs and like I always think it's maybe not about sex but about all the others. Well, I mean partly about sex, but I always find it my ego always tell me you're better than this, and like this, like you shouldn't fall for that, and it actually create the completely opposite mechanism from
Yeah, like you're better than this, but actually
no, let's go fuck someone like this.
yeah, that's so strange, isn't it?
Mm.
Like in your head, like
Like
your
it's
your brain constantly teaching you what is good, but actually they do it. It does it in a way to suppress, to mask,
I would
to
suppress
mask,
it
and to
first.
suppress
Exactly.
the experience. And it's like not allowing you to feel it using beautiful words again, right? Like you're better than this, la 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 la, and then you're like, right, and then as you suppress, and of course when you suppress something, it has to give counter effect, and then you're the victim of it. Like there's a saying that the things that you control will end up controlling you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what happened. I always felt I was in control, but I was not at all.
Your head says that you're in control.
Yeah.
But your choices show that you actually just conditioned.
There's a few questions. Maybe
Yeah,
you can,
let's read the question. You can read.
Okay, let me go up a
with
bit.
with BB.
Yeah,